let's bring you up to date with the latest from Gaza. The Hamas-run health ministry there says Israeli fire has killed at least 20 people waiting for humanitarian aid and injured another 150. Israel says it's looking into the report. The Israeli military says it's fighting Hamas militants at close quarters in Khan Younis as it seeks to dismantle the group, which is classified as a terror organization by several countries.
Maimed bodies fill the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza City after an Israeli attack. Desperate people were waiting for a rare delivery of food amid a growing famine. The UN says Gazans are facing the highest levels of food insecurity ever recorded, with over 90% of the population surviving on less than one meal a day.
We were waiting for the trucks bringing flour. Then Israeli tanks hit us with 4 shells. Young people were martyred and others injured. I was hit in the feet and hand.
Meanwhile, in southern Gaza, Israeli forces say they have surrounded the city of Khan Younis. They ordered people in the western part of the city to leave. Among them, over 30,000 displaced Gazans who had taken shelter at a UN facility, which had earlier come under attack.
We were inside the agency's school in Khan Younis, where they said it was safe. The Israeli army started telling us on loudspeakers to leave within half an hour. We started running and didn't know where our families and children were. I gave birth 3 days ago. Now we're at the sea and don't know where to go or where our families are.
Unable to leave the Strip, Gaza's 2.3 million people are being squeezed into an ever smaller area as battles spread, with no idea how long the fighting will go on, or when they'll have to flee again.
For more, I'm joined now by DW's Tanya Kramer in Jerusalem. Tanya, we're hearing about new mediation efforts between the warring parties there. Could this be another truce in the making?
Well, I mean, it's right that there are more and more reports, but it's the nature, of these talks behind the scenes that nothing is really confirmed. And also, depending on the source, some are saying the gaps are still very wide, and others say the gaps are narrowing between the sides. But there were reports saying that the heads of the CIA and of the Israeli Mossad are supposedly meeting in the coming days somewhere in Europe with the Qatari and Egyptian mediators for potentially a new hostage deal. The Israeli War Cabinet has also met on Thursday night discussing a potential deal or new ceasefire. So this would entail a temporary ceasefire, as it is reported in the media, a phased release of those remaining hostages in Gaza in exchange for Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli prisons. Now, we also know that Hamas has always asked for a permanent ceasefire, for guarantees that the fighting will not restart afterwards and that Israeli troops would withdraw completely from Gaza. So there are about 132 Israeli hostages that remain in Gaza, including 28 that are presumed to have been killed. And there is a lot of pressure in Israel on the Israeli government to come to a new deal, as relatives are saying time is running out for these hostages there.
Tanya, the International Court of Justice is due to make a preliminary ruling today on whether to, or not to order Israel to suspend its military campaign in Gaza. How does Israel view those deliberations that are taking place in The Hague?
Well, I think it's very closely watched, especially, today when we're expecting some decision later this afternoon. There is a sense in Israel that basically it shouldn't have come to this court case at all. There's a support of the official line that Israel has the right to defend itself. There's a majority that supports the war in Gaza, and also saying that the world should look at the atrocities that were committed by Hamas on October 7th. And we heard this again also from one of the government spokespersons here in Israel on Thursday, saying these are charges, ridiculous charges, they are baseless, and that they are expecting that the court should dismiss the court case altogether.
Tanya, thank you very much. That was our correspondent Tanya Kramer in Jerusalem.